Welcome everyone back for some more Valorant. I'm joined here today by,
Kaya.
and I'm Josh, and we're going into the Power Esports Conference once again. Michigan State is taking on Minnesota, and after a match yesterday that a little closer than many fans hoped, Michigan State was able to conquer Briarcliff in Collegiate Valorant, but now we're taking on one of our own conference members. So, what are your expectations for this match?
I honestly am not too worried. I think that Michigan State's going to play great, especially with the win under their belt from yesterday. I feel like that always makes the team more motivated and makes them feel better about how they're going to play today. Especially because we have played Minnesota before, and I believe we have beat them too. So going in with both of those mindsets, I'm sure it'll be great.
Yep, and the players are feeling confident today. They were talking confident, that's for sure.
Mhm.
And you missed it. They changed the comp up yesterday
Oh, did
where
they?
they put Lemur on Neon on Haven, and they
Oh,
put
instead of a
Illogical
logical?
on Viper.
Oh,
So very different type of
yeah.
comp that they were running.
How did that work out? I honestly think that would work out good because I feel like the last few times we've watched Lemur on Haven, he hasn't been able to have his star performance that he normally does. So did it turn out like that
It
or?
was a lot closer. The round ended 13-11 for Michigan
Mhm.
State, so not definitely not their greatest of performances, but you also can see the vision. You can see what they're thinking behind it, and
For sure.
it's definitely not bad. And I mean, the other thing is the Yoru nerf.
Oh yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so they removed half of the time on the TP duration along with one of his flashes, and we know Lemur loved using the Yoru as one of his
Yeah.
most played characters within Michigan State's team. So having that no longer an option is definitely going to leave a lot of room for change. We've seen him on the Waylay, so there is the chance of the double dive, which has been taking meta, or it could be the opposite, where they decide to go into a slower, more paced comp,
hmm
like we saw in the Haven match. But that is for time to tell.
Yeah, for sure. But it also kind of makes sense that yesterday was a little close because I feel like with Michigan State, it always takes them just a little bit of time to adapt to whatever comps they're doing. We saw it with Logical on Neon to start with Haven. I feel like that first game was a little rough, but then as they kept playing it, he got more comfortable. So I could definitely see that happening again and them doing that comp and seeing it work out. So I'm a little distracted by my nails right now. They look like I guess they're green screen green, huh? But sorry, off topic.
Yeah, perfect color then. Got to blend in with the background.
Of course, but
Yeah. And obviously, this team, a lot of shooters at the very end of the day. We saw a lot of big plays from individual players in the games. So, I mean, that's always something fun to watch for the
for
fans,
sure.
something very motivating for the players when you see your teammate put on a big show, getting 4Ks aces. Those
Mhm.
kind of things
So
are
much
very
fun. It's
motivating.
so much fun for us to cast too. It's always so fun to be here, and then you can watch, the whole room just get super riled up and excited. It's always a good time over here.
Yep, and the Smash players yelling about something completely different.
Yeah, I wonder how much it does show come into the.
That is a good question, but
But so who are you excited to see play today?
well, I am definitely interested to see more of a logical on that Viper. Very
Yeah.
very different role where he's usually the guy first in, the guy who entries, and whether he gets a kill or not, creates that space,
Mhm.
and he's pretty good at it. More into that lurk role, the one who's kind
Yeah.
of wandering the map, trying to find timings, and maybe a different way of taking advantage of his mechanics.
I think that's yeah. I feel like Illogical's always a super patient player. He's one of those players that can just hold an angle and if he just has he knows he can wait. I feel like when I kind of play that position, I get bored or my eyes start to wander and then I lose the enemy. I feel like Illogical does a really good job on locking in and being able to be patient, which I feel like not a lot of people can. But also, who did Kirisudo end up playing on Haven? Doesn't he
He ended
normally
up
play?
playing Chamber.
Oh yeah. How did that turn out? I feel like we've
Um,
seen him play Chamber before, but not very often.
For him, unfortunately, the match did not go in his favor. They did not respect the utility that Michigan State was using, and they honestly they just made the bigger ball play. So
Sometimes that happens, especially. I mean, that's a very new comp for Michigan State, so
Yep, and it's sometimes it just doesn't work out,
Yeah.
when a team has that much confidence in themselves, or maybe just even arrogance,
Mhm.
bad plays turn good if you just follow through with it the full way.
Yeah.
And I mean, for better or for worse, it worked out for them. They almost took the map from it. It was their map choice, and
Mhm.
I mean, they felt comfortable on that. So we'll see.
Little
Michigan State
risky.
probably looking to make some tweaks in this match.
Mhm.
So I'm definitely curious to see how that's gonna work.
And what
And I'm
maps they pick.
Yeah, because we've only seen two, Haven and Split. We've only seen the two adjusted maps, so we're still waiting on a bit more of that. But I think
Ooh, we're playing Corrode.
it looks like we're playing Split, Corrode, and Haven.
That'll be fun.
Yep, the map pool not fully adjusted to the current rotation, so Corrode is still in.
I feel like I haven't seen a Corrode game in so long.
Well, you won't see one for a while either, because it is officially out of the rotation,
Oh no,
bringing.
is it?
Yeah, they removed Abyss and Corrode in replacement for Fracture and Lotus.
Yes, I love Fracture. I know Josh disagrees with me on that, but Fracture is one of my favorite games to play, so that makes me happy. And Lotus is okay too. I like the three sites aspect of it. I think Michigan State plays a really good Lotus, but
Yep.
it's a hit or miss map. Do you know what the changes they're doing to Lotus? Have you?
I've seen a little bit. So you know that wall in what was it, the A door, the one that you wall bang to get an immediate line of fire with the Odin
Yeah.
into spawn.
Yes. Yes.
They put an iron wall there.
Oh.
And then they
okay.
shortened the plant site, so there's no more of the front site behind the wood in front of the wooden box. You can't plant in front of that box anymore. They cut it so you can
Oh,
only plant
really?
behind that wooden box.
So you can't like.
Uh,
So how does that
this
work for?
First
Oh,
off,
a
this isn't the
set.
right map.
Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna complain though, because we have not seen a set in a long time. I'm actually really excited for this.
Yep, still not in the rotation.
It's not?
No.
Okay, that's why I was confused.
Yeah, first map is Split, which I believe should be Michigan State's choice, as it is definitely their favored map amongst all of the rotation. They favor the older maps.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that's also with an advantage in itself. If it's super old, everyone knows like the best ways to play it, and I don't think Haven's leaving anytime soon. It was one of those maps that got removed a bit ago, right?
It had a very brief removal, I believe. I
Mm.
think it was out of the rotation, but not recently. It did have that rework though, where they put some of those
Yeah.
preventing some wall bangs, because the map is kind of paper thin.
Yeah, it is. This is off topic, but I remember one time I didn't like playing Haven, and I tried to dodge, and I think I dodged 6 times in a row, and every time I was Haven. Just couldn't escape it. So,
It must be a sign to love Haven. But Haven is a staple. It's one of the maps, especially for young teams, a way for them to experiment on the fundamentals. It's because
Yeah.
it kind of covers every point on a team.
for sure, especially with the three sites, and like with no Lotus being there too. Yeah, because if you can play three sites, you can play two.
Yep.
So, especially on defense.
3 sites makes the choke points a little bit different, and you also gotta wonder, and obviously we're not gonna see this in a while for Michigan State esports nor any of the conferences they're in, but you gotta wonder what comps are coming up with Lotus back,
Mhm.
because now it's the post Sentinel murder basically.
Oh yeah.
So will we see a lot of chamber, or will we see no sentinels? But then that leaves room for a lot of lurk timings. But first map is going to be
Radiohead
Split.
everywhere? I'm liking
And
these names.
and you saw the sky buff, right?
No, I educate me, please.
So they added one thing back that I think a lot of Sky players are enjoying is the flash recharges back.
Oh really?
Yep.
Oh, it's probably offsetting the Yoru flash that they got rid of, right? That's interesting. Can you still shoot the birds when you flash them? That got
No,
removed a
that
while
got
ago,
removed
right?
a while ago. And here's the experiment they were doing yesterday, which is lemur on the sage.
That's so interesting to me. I feel like I haven't seen Sage in like high level comps in so long, especially because
They did have Asuna play it recently.
oh, did they? 'Cause
Asuna played it on kickoff.
I feel like it's hard with Sage because I feel like that mid point and split is such a big aspect and like for controlling space, and I think it's hard when you have a Sage player that just like puts a wall in mid and like calls it good enough. You know what I mean? I feel like you need to be able to use that wall a little bit more. So I'm interested to see how what Lemur does. Do you think he was inspired by Asuna to do that? Was it Asuna?
Probably not.
Yeah. I personally, when I play Sage, I like to do it the Grim style.
Well, that seems to be what he's been doing, kind
Yeah.
of playing around with Slouch, getting on top of extremely interesting angles. So we've seen Slouch getting on some very probably fun lines.
No, and I think that's so important. I feel like when you play super high levels, everyone's just used to the same things and utility being used in the same way. So if you can catch your enemy off guard and have them, experience something that they would never expected, it's super, super advantageous.
But even more than that, I think it has a very good counter to the double dive comp that has been going in the meta.
For sure.
The slows being able to slow down all those movements. But we're going to get a fast B take. The Trailblazers leading the charge. The Logical goes in and finds Henry on the first blood. Lemur on the lurk finds Sammy. Some trying to hold the line, but Heron shuts it down on a 1-for-1 trade. Kirisudo drops out of heaven, trying to just spam through a smoke. And now slowing it down. State taking a bit of their time to hold their line. And Kirisudo almost gets timing, but he manages to find the headshot. Zephyr swings out to find Heron, and Kirisudo gets the trade.
It's a very great, smart, strong round. I definitely like that Lemur wall of just like kind of getting onto site, onto B. I feel like that's pretty smart. I feel like it's a typical Sage wall, but it's really useful for getting onto site. I feel like that that entryway is always such a tight corner, and you can get a lot of people, especially if you spam util on it. Oh gosh, and they're playing Breach. We didn't even talk about that. I feel like I haven't seen a Breach in a comp in a long time either.
Yeah, Breach fell outside of the meta after receiving a small but very strong nerf. And since not much Breach play has been seen, Lemur using the wall to get elevated, but it's a 4-man flank. And Lemur just running up with the jump, getting the 2-3 backstab.
There we go.
And a small grin comes across his face, knowing the dirty deed he has committed.
How fun.
And for those who watched VCT, they would know the judge has gotten its own fair spot in the spotlight. The MVP of kickoff was a Neon judge player, primarily. So definitely seeing a surgence of shotgun users in organized play. Michigan State looking to explore A site once again, leaving Radiohead the only one to stop this aggression. Trying to hold the line, and Lemur with that wall once again. Illogical getting the entry with a bandit headshot. And Lemur still with this judge, daring these Minnesota players to charge him, but seeing the pressure is gonna make him tuck behind this wall. But Kirisudo and Heron with some beautiful shots, now leaving some all alone. Lemur wants to go in with the judge.
Here we go.
And Kirisudo gets the backstab as Lemur sees the sunlight.
Very quick rounds. This is really fun to watch Lemur on judge. You can tell he's very confident and he's not really worried about what's gonna happen next. He's just, running and gunning it. It also works out really well with Kirisudo on that Viper. I feel like having the enemies be vulnerable like that is very nice. Very good for judge. Very meta for judge. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's gonna happen next.
Well, Sheriffs and Light Shield all around for the Minnesota players. Looking to just get a few good shots. But Michigan State exploding out once again on B site. Gonna refract out. The bandit not ringing true for Lemur. Kirisudo with 2, however, catching the push-up. Heron falls. Slouch trades him out. Illogical gets 1, traded by Radiohead, and Slouch able to clean things up. A costly round for the Spartans, but 1 nonetheless.
The nice thing is that they won 3 rounds in a row, and I don't think most of them kept the same guns. Oh, I think Lemur's still doing the judge, so.
He's just doing his thing, guys. Oh.
This is also really good to see for Michigan State on attack. I feel like when we've seen split games before and they're playing attack, it hasn't gone out the best for them. We've kind of banked on them getting more rounds on, defense. So it's always good to see super strong.
And it looks like Lemur is calling for a play with Slouch to get him on an elevated angle. We'll see what value that brings. The smokes come down. He has a line, but no one is there except a corpse. Lemur is going to get the resurrection, though, on a logical.
Oh, I think he just missed that, didn't he?
And logical back in the action, trying to take control of site with his team. And Lemur with the judge finds Radiohead. Enjoyer first. True blood. But Lemur not looking the right way. Might get caught out. No. Oh, too late. But Illogical finds 2. The resurrection proves invaluable. And look where Kirisuto is. Look at what's going on. Illogical might be getting pressured, falls. Slouch trying to get the timing back. Gets 1, looking for 2nd. 50-50 fight. Some barely comes out with 21 HP. Kirisuto with his knife out. Devious. But Some, I think, is just going to try and save, not realizing the round is over. And Kirisuto running around, knife out, and he gets it!
God.
Kirisuto with the knife kill! And the thumbs up on the camera. Unfortunately, his camera's broken.
Yeah, we're looking at Lemur's, but we can still see it. It's definitely thumbs upable. That's crazy. Maybe, sometimes you just need to have your knife out.
Yep.
I mean, Christian was one of the players we were talking to a little bit before and seemed pretty confident in this game. So it's good to see that being reflected, with his kills and his mindset.
Classic video game enjoyer. Michigan State looking to explore mid a little bit more this time around. With a 4-man through, Lemur just eats a blind, but in order to get Slouch on another fun angle. The Breach trying to stall this push, but it's Lemur just W-keying through. Unfortunately, he's going to fall. And there's that line by Slouch getting a pick on Sammy. Looking for more. Logical using his ultimate to find 2 more picks. 3v2. Michigan State on slight numbers advantage. And they're going to find both using the Sky ultimate.
Back in a flash.
Just going to all the way over to A site. Illogical taking CT control. Slouch hearing the noise. Both players in vents. Just gonna smoke it off and cause some issues. And it's 3 players there. Zemford has to disconnect. Seems to have disconnected. And the last 2 players on Minnesota possibly looking to save here. And we are gonna get the tech pause.
I feel like that's pretty close to save. Do you think they're...
It looks like Michigan State wants to explore and fight a bit. They want to get these guns away. Henry gets one, gets another. And now Slouch all alone, trying to fight his way through. Both players so low. But Henry, with the clean shots, gets the 4K. And Michigan State ends up getting awarded the clutch.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good for the KD, though. 4K is pretty nice, but...
Exit frags are still frags, and
they very much are. But yeah, it looks like Michigan State's having a good game, excuse me. You look at all the the cameras of them, they're all cheesing, we love to see that from Michigan State, as they're kind of a straight-faced team sometimes. I don't know, I guess, what do you think that Minnesota has to do to try and recover this game, or do you think it's recoverable?
Well, right now it just seems like they don't have an answer for the extra aggressive Sage play that Lemur's been putting on. And even if they do, it leads to a lot of openings because they're being pushed back so much by the pressure, by the utility that's coming across. And it is causing Michigan State just to have so much space and so many answers because they have so much space.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like I was saying before, I just at this elo, you're really not used to a Sage just going into heaven and shotgunning you down. That's just something that you're not planning for. And I feel like a lot of times when people practice these types of maps, they kind of go over what other the enemies could do, strategies, what to prepare for, you know, how to recover. And I definitely don't think an aggressive CH who just runs them down with the judge was in their head for what this game was going to be like.
Yep,
So
Corky was 5 years ago.
yeah,
The shotgun
exactly.
sage is old news.
Very old. So I remember I had Ascendant playing Sage like Grim. My username used to be #1 Grim fan. But
An effective strat. But it looks like Zephyr ended up crashing. He
Oh,
is
no.
back. So well, hopefully it doesn't happen again.
but maybe it could be good for Minnesota, just to kind of like take a small break from the game and just kind of like think about what to do. I know they're not really allowed to communicate about the game, but internally.
And you see the aggression coming out from Minnesota.
Oh,
But
wow.
Slouch gets one. TP is actually pretty bad. He gets stuck behind the wall, but might get the chance to get away. The bullets being wrung out. Slouch trying to brawl his way through, finds 2, but no more than that. And illogical not landing his shots, and it's going to force Michigan State to back away, but B-side wide open. Spartans not having to worry about anything over there. And Lemur now on the lurk. Might hear Flanker if he decides to run. Knife out walking, however. Maybe he's aware of the mid person, or maybe he's not. Trying to get this flank. And Lemur starting to activate towards mid. What is this crosshair by Heron?
That's Joe Crosshair if I've ever seen one.
And Lemur gonna take a fight in mid with a shotgun. Unfortunately, the range is not that good. And now 2v2, Kirisuto and Heron trying to hold the line back. And another shot by Heron, last one remaining. Trying to flank. Heron is gonna get found out, being a little bit loud. And now it's a 1v1. Kirisuto is gonna drop his ultimate and just take the fight.
That was
raw.
smart. That was definitely a little risky of a play. I feel like that breach ult at the start kind of offset them. I know that Lemur had a really good wall right there. I feel like it was really well timed and kind of had Slouch have that advantage. They probably weren't expecting that, but you definitely tell it threw them off a bit, and the aim was off and just kind of blindly shooting through the smoke. But I really liked what Kirisuto did there right at the end. So. Because you could tell he wasn't expecting him to be so close if he just put the ult down. But
Yep, and Michigan State looking for a little bit of a more of a default. You see Lemur going into a later stage of Shotgun Sage with the Odin now instead. Corky later donning an Odin just to increase the rage bait, and Illogical getting a pick in mid. Lemur getting a lot of damage, not the kill though. And finds it later.
Just trolling right now.
They're just running around.
They're just having fun, but that's good. And I really do like that Odin skin. But oh, and that Phantom with the cat. Is that new?
Last player standing.
I didn't get a good look at it, unfortunately. And Lemur going around with that Odin, the Mist Bloom. No, that's not Mist Bloom. That's what's it called? Do you remember the skin name?
Spike
The like
planted.
The one with the little
cat and the
yeah,
heart.
this little spirit.
No, don't. It's very whimsical, and I like that.
I bet you anything that Lemur using that skin feels very bonita.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's good. You can tell it reflects on his gameplay.
That and the Sage, and it is just going to be a rundown between Heron, Lemur being the bait, Heron trading it out, and Michigan State up 8-0.
Wow.
Leaving no room for doubt. Michigan State trying to just close it out. Kirisuto 9-1.
Yeah, and you can look at the alternative side of that. Sammy 0-8. Super unfortunate. It's always, yeah, unfortunate seeing this type of games.
Yep.
But it happens to everybody. Even some of the best players have their worst games. So.
Now the Spartans looking to continue to fight here. Here's a wall we saw yesterday. An elevated wall, and is it going to be awarded? He gets headshot. But Slouch able to find the kill. Zephyr finds Lemur, leaving him unable to get a heal. And now the spot seems very dangerous. A wrong drop makes him fall to his doom. And here in Illogical cleaning house. Up ramps. And that site going to be claimed. Last 2 players in Minnesota in vents, making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Michigan State should know all the information they need.
There
And
we
they
go.
line up for a logical perfectly.
Wow, he's got no shirt on. Oh, strange.
And a logical, nonchalant as ever.
Yep. As to be expected, but very strong game for Michigan State right now. We love to see it.
Yep,
So.
and this is their confidence map. I believe this was their map choice.
Yeah, it makes sense. Definitely between Haven and Split. I feel like we started with Haven a lot when we got to pick, but it's nice kind of like seeing them realize like maybe this is a map that we feel more confident on and more well prepared, well versed.
Michigan State going on to that B side. The Odin just absolutely melts. And a logical with a little troll ult and another one invested.
Oh no. Yeah.
A lemur. Interesting. The logical finds 2. Looking for a third. What a shot by Illogical.
Oh, and
2v2.
so good that Zephyr had to disconnect.
Aaron finds 1. Now 1v1 as Radiohead gets the pick.
Oh,
But Logical
wow.
with the 1 bullet. An absolute demon.
That was really satisfying to watch. Yeah, 1 bullet right before he got blind too. So if he missed that, he was like double cooked. But
I guess we'll never know.
I guess so.
And another tech pause coming on our way. Michigan State kind of very lopsided in terms of individual skill.
But
I mean, hey, it is happens sometimes. There are always going to be bad games.
for sure, and like it's hard. Like we notice that when people have 0 KDs, it's like really unfortunate. But I honestly think that every single person on this team has had a KD similar before. You can definitely tell it's detrimental to how the game turns out. Having one player that's kind of not adding a lot of value in a 5-person game definitely has a lot of impact, especially when you're going against such a super hard team such as Michigan State, who's very dominant right now. But it just happens sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But hopefully, one of the best things that we like to see is they use it as motivation and they have a really good second game. And it definitely either goes one way or the other. You either are like, man, like this isn't my day, like you kind of get in this negative mindset, or you can, grow from it and use it as motivation. So it just kind of depends on the person you are and also the VALORANT player you are. So definitely could tell that that's having an impact. But the game's almost done, so.
Well, that's assuming that everything continues to go the same direction for Michigan State.
But
Obviously, we're a little biased for no apparent reason.
no, I don't have green screen Michigan State knows for no reason.
Yeah, and
so.
who would wear a Michigan State T-shirt? You know.
Definitely a Minnesota fan.
Of
So.
course. But assuming everything does go the way that both us and the players are probably hoping, and assuming most of the fans are Spartans, that's the direction that we're looking forward to. And also, since March Madness is around the corner,
Oh,
Michigan
yeah?
State, the 3rd seed, I think it's
It's
about
pretty good.
time we give a little bit of a promo to our bracket league that Michigan State's
Yes.
hosting, or esports are hosting. So in our Discord, there is a little bit of a link. It leads to an ESPN bracket group. And so you could just make a bracket, whether it's obviously glazing Michigan State or maybe a real bracket, and just see how accurate you are compared to everyone else.
Are there any wins, like any benefits if you win? Or is it just
I don't-
bragging rights within the
don't-
esports team?
I don't think anyone can win,
Well,
but I think it is just bragging rights, but still something fun to do.
For sure.
Nonetheless, with March Madness around the corner. But Michigan State activating. You see Lemur once again just running up ramp.
I feel like I've seen everyone have a crosshair change.
I love that smiley face, I'm not gonna lie. But Lemur gonna get caught in a bad timing. Illogical takes some
no.
damage, but his shot looks so good this game. His
Yeah,
aim
they've
is
been
so good
on
right now.
point. Rocking that Radiant Buddy too, super satisfying.
Well, he still has his regular crosshair. And he's going to get slid on,
Oh,
and there's
no.
the Henry with the judge finding one. But Kirisudo
It's the cat phantom. You see
able
it?
to get the trade. Yep. Kirisudo finds a second on some. Now, Michigan State from numbers disadvantage to advantage as Kirisudo win their way through. And
Is that spray throughable, that door?
no,
Oh, okay.
not the way he was doing. He was just shooting. Here in
Oh.
somehow lives.
That was a risk.
And you see those two starting to activate, trying to clear him out. Kirisudo playing patiently. He's going to try and circle back. But now Slouch in a 1v2 finds one, looking for another.
There we
And
go.
Heron comes around on 2 HP and finds the last pick. and you can see them kind of grinning.
Mm-hmm.
They're having fun. They're having
That's
fun.
so important too. So
It is a game.
it is.
11-0, last round in the half. Minnesota trying to find something, anything they can grasp onto for the next half. I mean, we've seen anything happen. Shout out Fnatic, 2025 champs.
You make a lot of references that I don't get. So
I just watch a lot of Valorant.
and that's good. I think that that's really important for you to be a caster. But yeah.
Also as a coach.
Oh, for sure. Definitely
And
goes
the
over my
logical
head.
gets hit by the paranoia. He's going to be able to refract out, and Sammy falls to Slouch. Zephyr now kind of debating it. The judge, long range, illogical, sees the warning signs, is going to take one, and Kirisudo gets the backstab, finds another on Radiohead, Enjoyer, and now some put in a box is going to get, just start throwing utility out,
Oh no.
and the spray and control not as good as he hoped. He could have gotten all three, honestly.
I saw the vision. I think that when you're in that situation and you have everybody, sometimes you just miss. Oh no.
I think BCJ's probably gonna get on for that. My guess. But,
yeah, but
A little bit of BM, competitive banter, as you could say.
you know what? Sometimes that just happens when you're 12. So
Yep. What we need our players to go to a LAN and start standing up after every win round. There's actually a psychology to that. It's supposed to actually get you your heart pumping a little bit better and get you more fired up when you stand
Really?
up and just start saying something, And so that's why you see a lot of Valorant players at the pro stage doing that.
definitely offset the other team too.
Uh-oh, Lemur and Kirisudo with some questionable movement choices,
Back in a flash.
going to lead to their demise. And now Minnesota grouped up 4v3 with some better weapons, and Heron's just bouncing around. Now Logical kind of bouncing in a small contained box, but could find that timing. Zephyr decides to sneak past using his wall, gonna get access to a different angle, and he's waiting for his teammates to group up. That wall is off, I think. Yeah, that wall's off. But he's gonna spot one, some solo, trying to fight his way through, gets one, looking for another, some
Can use that.
incredibly low. The flash, not gonna get it. Finds a second shot, looking for more.
Oh wow.
Just trying to hold the line. 3 bullets in his sheriff, 2 players remaining.
enemy
Finds
remaining.
one, Zephyr, last one there. Trying to line the shot up, 1 bullet. Can't land it, but Slouch is there to trade, and a
Defenders
flawless
win.
13-0
That was great.
for the Spartans to start this series.
What a well played round right there from Illogical. I feel like he was in such a sticky situation there and definitely could have died many, many times, but that was great. And that's definitely what you want to see from a high elo player, just kind of adapting to the environment. We saw that neon wall come up and he was able to go around that and use his abilities. That's like a peak high elo performance right there. And
Yep.
just- yeah.
And you can kind of see a little bit of the idea that they actually want to go with as a team, but not too much. And obviously, they just had fun. It's a
For
match where
sure.
they respectfully had a different level of skill individually.
Yeah.
And so, there isn't a need for them to pull out all the strats.
You can just kind of have fun. And I mean, not everywhere you can do a Sage Wall and just hold down W with the judge, but when you can, you should, right? So
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see what's in store. Minnesota, I believe, is getting the second map pick on Corrode. So we'll have to see if they can make some sort of comeback. But that will be after a little bit of a break. Welcome back. Map 2 coming back around, and we're going to get that double dive that I was talking about earlier. With Illogical is going to be on the Waylay, and Lemur is going to be on the Neon, so we'll see how that pans out.
Ooh,
Michigan
yeah.
State winning map 1 13-0 on their choice split. So now Minnesota very much in the hot seat. You got to show something. Definitely got to show something. We'll see how they
For
perform.
sure. It seems like Minnesota is kind of having a similar-ish comp to us with the Omen and the Waylay and Fade. I'm interested in KO. I feel like that's a character that I haven't really seen very often. I feel like they're what's the role called?
Flash initiators?
Yes. I feel like they're using unique ones. Like, I feel like we really haven't seen KO or Breach lately. You know what I mean?
Sounds like Kirisuto is doing a bit of trolling. Flash
gonna say.
initiators, not too much being seen, and we're gonna get the chamber.
Okay.
So a lot of firepower on the side of Michigan State. Yeah, like I said, Flash initiator hasn't been getting too much vision. We've seen a little bit, but because of Yoru and because initiators in general just kind of suck right now,
Yeah.
there hasn't really been a need. But with Yoru getting nerfed to the ground, initiators are probably going to see a lot more play in the competitive scene. So we'll see how that KO pans out. A really good player on KO can make his team look elite and make their mistakes obsolete. We've seen it on, like, for example, Zelsis on their Pearl game on C9. His KO makes his team look indestructible.
I really like Celsius.
He's a very funny guy. He pushes tush.
Yeah, there's a few pro player names that I do remember, and they're the ones that were big in 2023. I remember being very into the VCT during that time. I remember it was like peak Sentinel play too. I think it was last year they had 10s, but
Go.
And you see Illogical just running up, takes a shot. Fortunately, not gonna land, but just gets away. And they're gonna just start slamming on Slouch. He's gonna use his paranoia and just run away. But mid control is going to be taken by Minnesota. Heron now in the hot seat, but a beautiful shot by Kirisuto, not able to find more.
oh yeah.
Can't line it up. Heron with
down,
only
B.
2. And Lemur quickly trying to close this distance, not give
Spike planted.
Minnesota any room to breathe. One of their players extremely low HP, some trying to navigate his way, trying to find something, takes a pot shot, but Slouch able to flick onto him, and now last player remaining has to find the 1v3. He's gonna find one. Zephyr trying to find his way through. Illogical with the sheriff, and it's just too much for him to handle.
There we go.
Spartans take the opening round.
I feel like
Worried for a second.
I feel like Corrode is kind of hit or miss for Michigan State. I always feel like I always feel like the games are pretty close. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see how this turns out, especially because it's Minnesota's map pick, so it makes me feel like they probably are more prepared for this than Michigan State is. So
Well, we saw the amount of pressure they can put onto the Michigan State mid players. We saw them almost take it if it wasn't for that mistake of not clearing Heron out.
yeah.
That round probably would have been theirs. But Michigan State individually
Be
have
right
so much
back.
firepower, though. This map, definitely at least not one of Illogical's favorites. Speaking of which, spots him out just in the corner of his monitor and is able to refract out. Illogical gets 2 with the sheriff
go.
before falling to Sammy. Definitely not bad when you only have a sheriff yourself. And now you got the Neon just going in with the judge. Lemur W key away, but the Guardian retrieved by the Minnesota players as Lemur still just W keying. He's gonna
One
just
enemy
go
remaining.
in and just click on people. Zephyr finds one, but Kirisuto with the trade.
And Sammy disconnecting. Man, I hope they're all there. Do you think it's the internet?
Potentially. And we're gonna get another tech pause. And some choice language from some, venting his frustrations. Fortunately censored for our side, so
It happens.
for any younger members in the audience, you know,
Yes.
gotta keep it PG.
Of course. Yeah, it's probably got to be pretty frustrating. I feel like that's like the third time,
Yeah,
maybe fourth.
That it has happened frequently for them, so definitely something that could tilt a player for sure.
For sure.
But I mean, they don't look bad. That's the thing. Minnesota actually looks very good on this map. They look like they have practiced this a lot. It is just coming down to individual players hitting shots, getting multi kills, and it's just gonna be on Minnesota going into their next buy, making sure that they clean up those plays, making sure that they don't leave any mistakes that Michigan State will exploit.
For sure. I think that this map is going to go a lot different than how Split went, for sure, but hopefully not too different. So.
We do want to see Michigan State succeed.
But I think it's also good to have some really good competition, especially because like I feel like Michigan State just isn't really used to corrode. So if you go against a team that you can beat, but you also learn from, is pretty important. So.
Yep. Now you got to wonder, what are they gonna do to clean up? What has Minnesota got to do to close that gap and, at the very least, take a few rounds from the Spartans, especially on their map choice? They got to find rhythm.
I think that this round that we're just about to play is going to be super important for them to win. So.
Oh, it looks like we're live, so we'll have to see what it is they bring out. You see a lot of two players towards mid 3 fighting A. They want to clear out a logical. The logical crossing once again is going to take a fight. Finds one, but traded out. Not going to hit a 1-for-1, but your smokes player is down. Heron also finds Henry on the flank. And now Spike put in a tight spot. Kirsuto falls. Now Heron, 1v1, deciding to back away. Not worth the issue. Lemur with a sheriff shot.
Bring them down.
Challenges the hubris of the Minnesota's duelist, and Zephyr disconnects.
Oh no.
And
I wonder what's happening.
Radiohead finds Lemur kind of parading around the AFK body of Zephyr. Aaron just having fun with the new knife.
That is fun.
It is very ADHD inducing.
Yeah, I feel very mesmerized right now.
And Radiohead about to peek into it.
Oh.
Not
30
going to land the
seconds
shot.
left.
Fucking Heron.
And Heron's just running away.
Oh, it's cool when you
One
run
enemy
too.
remaining. Stay cold.
He's going to get the C's off. I believe that connected. Now it's just jiggling around. Radiohead being played with just a little bit. Heron, Paranoia lands.
10 seconds
Radiohead
left.
Enjoyer in a box. Heron
Oh,
trying to go for the
no.
knife. 5 seconds left. He's going to stick the plant and
Oh.
Slouch
A little nervous right there.
commits to the crouch a bit early, almost. Leaves room for a Minnesota clutch, but able to connect the shots on the spray. And
Yeah, Heron was just messing with him. Yeah, that kind of makes me a little nervous though how that round went. Like I know there was like a little bit of trolling, but that was also like, I wonder what would have happened if there wasn't that DC.
yeah, and you can see the frustration on some of these players. Minnesota not going to need to call the tech. They rejoined in time due to some of the Michigan State stalling. Anyways,
Hey, yeah, trying to get rid of additional time.
and now a little bit of a default from the Minnesota players. Going to use the knife. Stall out just a little bit. And a lot of pressure. You see the judge coming in from Henry on the waylay. But Slouch gets onto the off angle, finds one, gets picked off by the sheriff.
One
Lemur gets
enemy
one,
remaining.
gets traded. Illogical also finding one. Radiohead Enjoyer with the sheriff finds Kirisuto. Trying to see if he can find a little bit more. Heron swings out and gets the one tap with the Vandal.
Now this.
A little bit of a costly round, but a team ace for the Spartans.
That's good. Also, like, it was really nice because you can tell that Michigan State was really playing with their team, and it was just back and forth trades. And I think that's really important to be able to trade off of each other and have that advantage. It's nice to be able to see that, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
I feel like that's one of the things that Michigan State kind of struggles with is playing with their team. They're all very individually strong, so it can be easy to just kind of like stray away and kind of do your own thing. So it's refreshing to be able to see that.
A little bit of a not PG-13. And Michigan State challenging a aggressive fight, but Zephyr comes out with 2 of them.
The Guardian too.
Now Michigan State down numbers, and you see the Minnesota players starting to speed up. No Command is invested. Herod in no man's land, trying to brawl his way out, but surrounded on all sides. Gets one before Zephyr cleans things up. 2v3. And Michigan State just taking their time, letting site be taken and just trying to clear things out one at a time. Both players split up, trying to find something. Kirisudo walking through CT with Lemur with the judge, trying to see if someone maybe foolish enough to peek into him. Kirisudo with the tour de force finds some. And a bandit kill. Lemur falls to the trade. And now Sammy in a 1v1 with Kirisudo. Kirisudo putting out the shorty. Jumps out, but can't connect. And Minnesota takes their first round of the series.
Oh yeah, I laughed at that timing there. But unfortunate, if he didn't jump out, I feel like he probably could have gotten it, but
We'll have to see if Minnesota can spiral this into multiple rounds.
they definitely could take advantage of this. But seeing how Michigan State reacted to that, I have a feeling that they're not very worried about that. They're just, you can tell they're just very confident right now and just kind of enjoying this and having fun, which is always really nice to see.
And you see the Minnesota players starting to group up towards, not the Minnesota, the Michigan State players starting to push up towards mid, taking aggressive space, trying to control it entirely. Minnesota looking to maybe start to fight this out. No, they're just gonna rotate over towards this B site. But with Michigan State so far up, they're gonna get a lot of information out here. Kirisudo all alone on that B site, holding it off, but finds 2 with the Vandal. Kirisudo navigating around this pressure. Some finds 1. Kirisudo with the 3rd. Lemur gets the last 2. And Michigan State takes their 5th round.
Absolutely shutting down that spiral right there.
To Cash_MP3 to his question, does BCJ coach the team in person? No, he coaches it remotely from his home. But he every now and then he says he might pop in to the esports lounge and coach him in person. To when he does, that's not to our knowledge, but he does coach us. He does coach the Spartans remotely. Anyways, Minnesota starting to explore B main. Kirisudo out in a deep line with the Vandal. Gets caught out by Sammy with a beautiful peek. Michigan State, it's all up to Heron. He finds 2, holding the line all by himself, and a little bit of chip damage, just for insurance. Lemur is gonna hear the retreat and decides to go in for it. Gets 1. The bandit comes out, and Lemur with a 2nd. And I don't even think the round's over. There's just too much aura in that. Oh, and
that was
Lemur wanted the clip, but Illogical is going to take the 3rd. But what a beautiful trick!
Yeah, that was a really well timed camera switch. Thank you for that.
He felt that in his bones. Yesterday we were saying that Lemur was playing well because of the St. Patrick's Day buff with him being a ginger.
Oh yeah, the leprechaun spirit. Maybe it's still rubbing off him.
It might carry on for a little bit.
The look of the Irish.
Does that mean Notre Dame would be playing really well?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that how it works?
Did they? I know they played yesterday.
Not us. Oh yeah.
They didn't have an opportunity to, but maybe.
And Lemur trying to get something cheeky with that bandit, but instead is going to take a headshot from distance. On 66 HP with no shields. And Minnesota, after taking mid, are going to try and flood out into B. Kirisudo going to have to hold the line, trying to just kind of hide away. Heron finds 1 on some. Spike is down. Slouch gets Henry. Kirisudo finds
enemy
one.
remaining.
Slouch gets another. And we're not seeing any of this. Last player in mid, Lemur spots it out with the jump peek. He's just gonna run at him, trying to bait some shots. And the judge goes in, and it's a flawless round for the Spartans.
Oh, that was great. Lemur's really liking the judge today. It's definitely a very big judge game for him. But judges are, if you know how to use them at the right timings and you can get in the perfect position, like you saw he was able to slide and go really close. I mean, they're very powerful. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, I mean, just shotguns are just so annoying to go against.
And
though,
then you
so.
have the Neon that gets close and impersonal.
Yes,
More
like-
better than basically any other character.
Mhm.
With the slide, too.
It's really hard to kind of counter that.
Well, there's one more thing they added to the repertoire, which is Heron and an Odin.
Oh, and just a really annoying comp they're throwing at them. I think if I was Minnesota, I'd be kind of.
This has got to be
Rage baited.
considered some sort of war crime. But Minnesota is going to explore A link and trying to crunch into A site. And now Logical and Slouch in a little bit of a bind. Some find Slouch, some finds a Logical. The share brings true. And the shotgun, Henry gonna find Heron, but Lemur with the trade with the better shotgun. But now again, two players remaining, Kirisudo and Lemur.
Player
But
standing.
Lemur gets spammed out through a smoke, and now Kirisudo all alone. Vandal in hand, has to find it, but a beautiful shot by Zephyr and a thrifty for Minnesota.
I'll shut them down. Until then, survive.
That's what we want to see.
Yep. Minnesota is still showing some signs of life. Those sheriff shots, beautiful. And now giving them just a chance to let the rounds continue to bring it to a 7-5 potentially. That is the hope and the goal. Gonna group up outside B. Just playing it patiently, trying to see who's holding it. But Kirisudo with the offline, and it's going to punish Sammy for TPing away. And Kirisudo with the first blood with the op, holding a line, trying to get another, but in a pinch, not going to be capitalized on. The backstab by Slouch and a Logical, find three.
Spike down.
And a Logical with the third for himself, and a flawless round for your Spartans.
Man, they're playing really good today. Like this is always just so fun to just watch. I know we were talking about that right before it started.
Another
Oh,
disconnect.
I can't imagine what Minnesota's kind of going through right now. Not only are they having
And you see his own teammates lamenting on that just a little bit.
I mean, yeah, they have every right to be frustrated. I mean, one, it's kind of insane that they've crashed like 6 times. That's just frustrating within itself. But then you have a team that's just running you down with the judge and an Odin. Like, I would probably be pretty upset too. I think if I was on their side, that would not be the happiest.
This
so.
is a valid reason for some gamer rage.
For sure,
That is,
yeah.
that is true.
But Lucky Rage, all we see are asterisks. So like,
Yep.
what are you talking about?
Gamer rage, what's that? You know,
It's me.
Who's ever like punched a hole in a wall, a dry wall, or thrown a controller and smashed it? You know.
Broken your mouse. Not me.
Definitely. But I mean, hey, these guys usually stay composed. These players, you know, they like the competition, and you know, these things happen, and
For sure.
great players do also know how to stay focused, how to stay locked in, because at the end of the day, it's always winnable. Until the
For
game's
sure.
over, it's always winnable.
Always. It's always so fun if you watch the like crazy, you know, 0 to 12 comebacks, because they've happened before. I mean, is it more rare for them to happen in super high ranks or in these kind of competitions? I mean, sure, but do they still happen? For sure. It didn't exactly happen, but we had something that was really close. I remember it was a few months ago, but it was on Abyss, and Michigan State was up like 12, and the other team, I think it was during that super long tournament over the weekend. one of the teams, they like were like 1-12 and they got all the way up to 11-12, and then Michigan State finally won the last game. But super close, you know what I mean? So.
Yep. Anything can happen. All you have to do is keep your head focused, and you know, whether it works out or not, at least you tried. At
For
least
sure.
at least you showed that there was a chance until there wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, earlier today while I was queuing comp, I won a 4v5 because my teammate was a thrower.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We started doing better.
What's your Valorant rank?
What-
What's your peak? Let's start with that.
Peak Diamond 3, and then I stopped queuing too hard.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. Sometimes the game just is too much.
Yeah. I'm satisfied being the coach, 'cause then I'd get to tell people how to do things.
But
Now a fast hit. Kirisudo is going to get forced off his line. And also his Sword of Force taken away from now in a bad
Oh,
spot.
no.
Is going to get shot from multiple directions. Lemur backs him up with a judge.
oh no.
Trying to fight another on Zephyr, but Zephyr gonna back away, and Sammy and Evan
Spike planted.
finds Lemur. Viper's Pit placed on Spike, and they're just gonna continue to pressure Spartans as best as they can. Michigan State just trying to spam these players out. Heron finds one, looking for another. Might have spotted a gun barrel. Some though finding a logical and slouch. Now on to Heron. We've seen this yesterday many
Bring
times.
them down.
So we'll see if today is his lucky day. But too much pressure, and Minnesota takes a third round in the half. And going into the final round of the
Last
half,
round in the half.
maybe Minnesota can put together a fourth
Mhm.
going into the second half.
And A4 was really not bad to start with, excuse me. Especially because they didn't get to pick which side they started, so they could very much, you know, be a defense. Be more defense oriented on this map, which could have a really big advantage, just, you know. So.
Yep, and especially with their comp, it does look more suited for those kind of set plays, you know, defensive execution. But we'll have to see. An early pick for both waylays going down. Heron finds a second on some. Lemur with the third. Kirisudo takes out Sammy. And now Zephyr all alone on KO. He's gonna start running away.
no.
Finds one. Two more players remaining.
Last player standing.
Zephyr gets the second.
Is he at like 1 HP? Oh,
He is
5.
so extremely low. And party chat accidentally used. And now 1v1 slouch, full HP. Can't say the same for Zephyr. But he has Spike and 55 seconds remaining. Both players just trying to get a read on each other.
The chat just going wild.
And now both players taking it very cautiously. They realize the stakes of this round. Meanwhile, the rest of the players in chat are just kind of bantering. The plant is going to go down on
Spike
B
planted.
site. Slouch not nearby enough. And I think players might have a read as Zephyr gets the angle, but the shorty! Zephyr's too low, and the shorty at range still suffices. And Michigan State for
Maybe
whatever
let
it
you
is.
have that one. I
Gets
forgot
it.
that he was so low. I was like, why are you bringing up the shorty right now? But yeah, I literally like just needed to freeze
Any
him.
one pellet
A
hits him.
breeze could have killed him. So
And Michigan State up 9-3, though the 9-3 curse. Do we believe in it?
you know, every time that you ask me that, I say yes, and nothing happens. So this time, I'm gonna keep saying yes. So yes, I do.
Say it
believe
enough times and eventually it'll happen.
But yeah, well, feel confident. It looks like both teams are just kind of having fun. So
Michigan State on their first attack side. Let's see what they open with. It looks like they're going to go for an A-slam. Meanwhile, Minnesota showing that they want that mid-control. Michigan State taking control fast. The swing out by Sammy not going to get value. And some help swings out, but another for
One enemy
falling
remaining.
Henry.
Oh,
Zephyr
slouch.
now last alive with the ghost. The rest of his team falls, trying to get some shots to land, but he has to retreat as the Michigan State players all start looking to hunt. And
Slouch with a 4K. Look, it's the stats player again. Slouch getting some hate. but-
getting some
Kill them
slander
before
on his
they
own
kill us.
teammate.
Hey, that's okay.
And now 10-3 lead Spartans.
Go, go, go.
Looking like they would just want to go.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's been a long day.
It really has been. So.
I think some of these players want the local McDonald's, just a few blocks away. Henry gonna go fast, but his spot is being canned by Lemur with the judge. Henry getting one, and Radiohead finding Lemur. Numbers advantage to Minnesota, who forced this round, but it was all a lie. Slouch, though, getting backstabbed. Now 2v4.
Planted.
Michigan State gonna have to push up, trying to get into aggressive lines to catch these remaining players off guard. Heron trying to sneak his way into a low cheeky angle with the judge. Finds one. Looking for more. Finds a
Okay.
second. 2 for 1. And Kirsudo,
Enemy remaining.
1. Brings out the classic. He knows he's low. The headhunter watching him
There
jump
we
around
go.
and takes his time to line up the headshot. And Michigan State closes the round. A little bit shaky, but a win nonetheless.
Yes.
11-3.
For sure. I kind of liked what Heron did with that judge move when he was in fades. Whatever that ability is called. My mind's blanking. But yeah, he just kind of went out and just, shot him. And I feel like they're probably pretty unexpected. What?
And Michigan State going to take some mid-control this time, but Lemur being pressured by Henry, though his judge decides just to reject the premise. And now Michigan State going to split onto A site. Lemur just creating a lot of noise, just running around. And Zephyr now in a rock in a hard spot. The shorty is going to get
Enemy
one,
remaining.
but Lemur just bouncing around his teammates, cleaning up behind him. And they're going to keep going forward. They don't care to plant the spike. What's planting a spike? Some is just, oh, he's trying to bait him into a judge.
Oh,
There's
no.
one. Second, and Kirsudo not laying a third.
Something that I'm surprised we haven't seen happen yet is, well, okay, I guess I'm not too surprised. I was going to say Minnesota hasn't called a timeout yet, but honestly, with the amount of tech pauses they've had to do, I'm sure that they really don't want some more, time being added.
Yep. And I don't think they have a coach, which probably doesn't help. Oh, my apologies. They do have a coach. Potentially. I don't know. Michigan State just kind of spread out, looking for a fight. Will Minnesota oblige? Well, it looks like radio is, and it's going to be a regret.
They found my team.
And so is Zephyr, who also falls. A third, giving him a chance.
Oh, okay,
A logical
Kirsudo.
finds some, and now one player left, and he's in no man's land. Full
Man, they have
bomb.
no faith in them either.
And Kirsudo going to close it out with the
There we
4K. And Michigan State 2-0, 26 rounds, and only dropping 3. A dominant performance.
For sure. We really like to see that. I mean, that was great. They played amazingly. They had fun. They utilized the judge a lot this last few games, and you know what? If it works, it works. If I was Minnesota, I would be pissed right now, but I'm not Minnesota, so that's good. So
It is. It just does so happen to be their problem, not ours.
but yeah, it was fun to watch. They clearly enjoyed playing it too. So
Definitely.
good
and,
game overall.
And hopefully this also does carry on to their matches coming in next week and then after that.
for
You know,
sure.
but I believe that it will be it for Valorant this week. I think Smash is it Smash or Rocket League tomorrow. Smash is going to be tomorrow. So for anyone interested, make sure to stay tuned and also check out that fantasy bracket I mentioned earlier.
For sure.
But that will be it from us. I've been Josh.
This is Kai, and we'll see you next week, guys. Have a good night.
Go Green.
You know, there's the easy way to do things and there's the right way to do things. At Michigan State University, our goal was not only to impact campus, but to impact the entire collegiate ecosystem. This is a critical time in esports, and the decisions that we make today can last for decades. And so we at Michigan State, we're committed to doing things the right way.
Raph, I know you're huge into this big esports conference. Michigan State 8-0.
We want to make sure that we are setting the standard for how programs should be built and how programs should behave.